In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 stocks that you should be looking to add to your portfolio for August of 2025. This is something that I put out to my students in Discord, giving them good plays, and I've also done the same thing here on YouTube. I told you guys that NVTS would drop on earnings, and if it dropped, I'd be looking to get in the high 5s, low 6s. That looks like it's going to be happening. Not only that, I told my students in Discord to not touch PayPal, and as you can see right here, lots of YouTubers were pumping it. PayPal dumped. I told them instead to buy XYZ, and you can see there's the trade alert I gave Discord. We printed on it. I also told my Discord to buy Meta, and you can see here's the trade alert twice from the 18th of July and the 28th of July, and then here is where Meta ran. My students printed. I have students that made $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 and $60,000, as you guys can see on the screen. I also told everyone to buy SoundHound at $3, SoFi at $6, Hims at $10, Robinhood at $15, Affirm at $27, $30, and $35, and Wayfair at $30 and $35 and $40. And you can see where all those stocks are right now. And that's just the beginning. I also said to buy AMD at $110. Now it's $170. I called Palantir at $15. I called Big Bear AI at $3 range. And I called Serve Robotics around the $8 range. So there's a lot of stocks that have run, lots of profits to be made. This is something that I do all the time, and it's not easy, but I do it for you guys. If you're confused by anything you see in this video, or you don't know where to begin, maybe you're looking to retire and you want to be in Discord and get these trade alerts and my coaching and join my coaching calls and have my full training course, the link to get started and join Discord is below. Just remember, what you put off today for tomorrow, someone else put off yesterday for today, meaning you're always going to be behind. You want to take action now and take your portfolio to the next level. I look forward to seeing you in Discord real soon. The number 5 stock to add to your portfolio is Navitas, NVTS. I've talked about this stock many times. They have GaN, which is gallium nitride, which is the future of chips and energy saving for power-hungry server and network computing, which is where NVIDIA has some of their troubles with their power-hungry GPUs and servers. And the gallium nitride is the future in this, and it's much more efficient and much more conservative on power consumption. And NVTS, Navitas, is definitely one of the leaders in this area, and it's definitely going to be the way of the future. Now, there is some issues with their earnings. Now, this is a business that is trying to become profitable, so it's going to be rocky. It's also a cheaper stock, so there's risks here, inherent risks that you have to be aware of. I would not put more than 5% of my portfolio or 10% into any one stock or any one sector. And NVTS, me personally, I was looking to get in the low 6s, and I told everyone on earnings, if it dipped into the 6s, I'd be looking to make an entry, and I have a price target between $5 and $6. It's not quite there yet, but if you have the means, you can buy some now, wait to see if it settles or drops more, and dollar cost average. Long term, this is definitely a player. Looking at the chart, we can see there's been a pretty big sell-off on Navitas, and that was because they missed earnings, which was not good. They missed on both, not by much, but still, it's enough. 1% is still enough to have investors shaky. Plus, it's already a long-term play, and the market prices all of this guidance in. Based on my AVP strategy, which is a proprietary part of my Discord, it's something I created, my DFib and my double divergence RSI stochastics. These are tools that I designed over the years and experience with hedge funds in order to gauge the market. They're very powerful. I teach them in Discord, and one of those is my AVP, which is very popular. My students in Discord and even people on YouTube looking to join Discord are asking about it. My AVP on NVTS is between $4 and $6. So you really want to be getting in right here would be the ideal entry. $5.78 would be a nice spot to get in, maybe $5, $5.30, anywhere between $5 and $6. But this is a nice little sweet spot, a lot of support. If Navitas dips down here into the $6.10 or the $6 range, I'll really be looking at entering, and it looks like it's quite possible that's going to happen. But there's a lot of support here in the $6.50 range. So it's going to be tough for it to just drop quickly without negative news. So it's something you'll have to watch very, very closely. But this is a stock that I would look to add to your portfolio with their gallium nitrate and I see this is something that is going to be a very big part of the future and very important. And as you can see here, $6 a share was the target announced price. So it's not too far off. It's not too overvalued. It's actually almost at par. So I'd be looking to get in at 6. There's also a forward-looking ratio to look at. Most stocks trade at a multiple in the forward-looking ratio. So you have to understand that. Forward-looking ratio is usually a pretty high multiple. And right now it's pretty on par. So really, even at this price, it's okay as long as you have the means to dollar cost average in the near future. The next stock we're going to talk about adding to your portfolio is a stock that I've talked about a lot, and it's one that I've given trades on in my Discord, and that is Bank of America. Bank of America also uses partially as a treasury. They invest in crude oil, which is very strong because crude oil is a hedge against the market, which means when the market has trouble or is going down or volatility is up or the VIX is up, Bank of America fares a lot better than most other stocks. Not only that, there's been a lot of dark pool activity in Bank of America for September. And you can see the trades I gave to my Discord right here is Bank of America September 19th $50 call options. There was millions of dollars that went into this call option, and my specific and proprietary dark pool data shows me how many buys, how many sells. It shows me all the specifics, and there is a lot going on with Bank of America. And right now, I've dollar cost average and have an average price of $20 a contract myself, and so does my Discord. And if Bank of America goes to $50 by the end of August, this will be a 500% return. But if you're looking to play it long term, which is even safer, Bank of America is one of, if not the best banks you can invest in. It's different than SoFi, which is a fintech. So is New Holdings. That's more of the AI and more of the new fintech space, whereas Bank of America is a little bit more stable, has a nice dividend, and you can use it in your retirement strategy. So this is something I would seriously consider adding to your portfolio. It is a stable stock, more consistent and safer, and hedges against downside risk. You get to collect the dividends. You can sell covered calls. You can sell puts to get in. Definitely a better and safer stock. Let me show you Bank of America on a chart. You can see here Bank of America on the chart has had a bit of a sell-off due to tariffs and the uncertainties that are going on in the market right now, like every other stock. But if we look back when March had that big sell-off in April, there was a lot of uncertainty with the tariffs that affected Bank of America. But then when you look at the trend, it's been upwards no matter what since. Now, the market has been doing very well. However, there are times of uncertainty where Bank of America doesn't quite translate that because it's a little bit safer of an investment. Same with Ford, General Motors, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. These are safer stocks naturally, a lot safer. Now, when you look at the dividend, it's 2.27%, not as good as Ford, but decent. Now, not as good as Ford or Coke, but cheaper than Coca-Cola, almost half the price. When you look at the 1-year gains, it's 27%, and you can see the price target in a year is $53. So there's still about $8 of upside, which is about 20% in the next year. Plus, you're going to collect the dividend, and it's a much safer stock. There is a lot of dark pool activity, like I said, on Bank of America. So this stock is highly likely to break $50. When dark pool activity shows me a call option, the stock typically moves in excess of that. So I'm anticipating a move of $51 to $53 or more by September, October. And if it doesn't happen, then dark pool data is hedging on a $50 turn, which means we're looking for the stock to go to a bare minimum of 50, which is right here. So I have a price target on Bank of America somewhere in here, and by the end of the year would almost surely be the case, which is why I'd much prefer buying shares, which I do have shares at Bank of America. But this, like I said, strong stock to get in and very safe compared to most other stocks, but there's inherent risks on any stock, so be aware of that. When we look at the income statement, we are also looking at the market cap of $337 billion divided by 198. We have 337 divided by 198. Price to sales of 1.7. Anything under 20 is good. Anything under 15 is really good. Anything under 10 is extremely good and excellent. Under 5 is stellar. SoFi had a price to sales of 1.9 when they were $6. They ran to $22. Now their price to sales is 6, which means essentially there's potential here for at least a 4 or 5x in the next 3 to 5 years. Bank of America very well could find their way to a $90 or $100 stock price in the next 2 or 3 years, maybe even sooner. This is why dark pool data is diving into into this. And also, money has rotated into the financial sector in the last couple of months. So Bank of America is a very strong play. When we look at their pre-tax income, $30 billion trailing 12 month, net income, $28 billion. Balance sheet shows that they have a lot of growth. They have enough to cover their liabilities, and their equity is $300 billion after all weighted risk assets. When you look at the cash flow, $22 billion trailing 12 month, and their operation activities, $22 billion as well, and very much solid numbers here on Bank of America. The number 3 stock that you want to be looking to potentially add to your portfolio is Affirm. I called this stock last summer and it was $25. And then when it dipped this past March, I put out another alert to my Discord to buy it when it dipped into the low 40s, and it ran again, breaking the previous high and going all the way to $70. Affirm actually just launched some new products. One of the products they launched was the credit card that you can now have mailed to your house. So anytime you go into your account, see what you're pre-approved for, you can have it automatically go to your credit card once you tell Affirm where you're buying and what you're buying and the amount. It'll approve it, send it to the credit card. No credit apps at the stores. You can run and just swipe that card. It's like a loan on a credit card. It's very different. No one's really taken that approach before, but Affirm has been posting strong quarter over quarter and year over year results. And remember, the financial sector is growing. Money has rotated into the financial sector over the past couple of months, which is why Bank of America, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Affirm, these stocks are running up because of the rotation. Even XYZ has run. Affirm stands to capitalize on this and expand and grow as they're in multiple countries around the world, and they're ever growing with their different offers and partnerships across this country and Canada as well. Looking at Affirm, you can see on the chart they've had previous high and a previous supply zone somewhere between 78 up to around 81. It's retesting that range now, and if it breaks it, then the sky is the limit, because this is an area with heavy resistance. But then there's a previous area of resistance during the pandemic of 174. With future guidance in the forward-looking PE ratio, with the forward-looking ratio and valuation on Affirm, a one-year price target of 73 sets it where it's currently at. However, with the growth they've had, you can see the previous earnings EPS was negative 13 estimate. They beat it at 25. Then the one after that, they beat it by 2 cents. The next earnings is 12 cents. If they beat this earnings, that means they'll have beaten 3 in a row, or they'll beaten 4 out of 5 earnings, with the one miss coming in November of 2024. When we look at financials, we can see they have $3 billion trailing 12 month, and with a $24 billion in the market cap divided by $3 billion trailing 12 month gives them a price to sales of 8, which is really strong. In this sector, I would expect they would be able to achieve 16 to 20. So there's at least 50 to 100% return in the next year or two. So Affirm very well based on their growth, their valuation, forward-looking guidance. If everything lines up, we're looking between $100 to $140 a share in the coming year or two. This is a very strong stock and could even grow even faster than that. But realistically, I would say in the next 2 years or so, you could expect a 50 to 100% return. Affirm is a little bit safer of a play, in my opinion, actually considerably safer than would be Navitas or SoundHound. Obviously, less of a return, but you can make a lot of money selling put options, covered calls, leap options, the growth of the stock. This company has made me a lot of money. I personally made $100,000 just since January on Affirm. There's a lot of money to be made. This is a great stock to look at, and they're ever growing. The CEO is great. Everything they stand for is great. Definitely a good investment to add right now. The stock is pushing upward into the resistance and the supply zone, so be aware of that. Personally, I'm waiting to see if this stock can push through the 77 into the 81 range, right where it's at now, because if not, it'll kind of pull back into 63, and that's where I definitely would buy. So if this stock resists and pulls back into anywhere in the 60s, whether it be mid or low 60s or high 50s, which I think is very unreasonable, probably not going to happen, but if it does pull back, it's most likely to happen between 62 and 68. If it happens to pull back in this range, I would definitely be adding. There is that looming resistance and supply zone up here, but if it pushes through right here and breaks through the zone, comes back, retests, and then goes forward, exactly what I'd be looking for, then it's even stronger confluence, because that's what I'm waiting for on Affirm. I'm waiting for the stock to kind of break through this area of resistance. It's a supply zone, lots of selling, lots of sell orders ready to fill. As it pulls back, buyers jump back in and creates new support on the supply zone. zone. If we can create a support zone between 75 and 81, anywhere in this range, if we can create some form of support where the stock goes back up like this, that's what we're looking to do. And this would be a solid entry. Right now, solid, but we just don't know if it's going to pull back. But overall, great stock to be looking at right now. The number 2 stock that you want to be looking to potentially add to your portfolio is MicroStrategy. Now, the reason why I'm recommending MicroStrategy at number 2 and not number 1 is because Bitcoin is speculation, and I've always been a little bit hesitant on just throwing money at Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy has pretty much hedged their entire company on Bitcoin and leveraged and essentially use Bitcoin as a treasury for the company, returning an EPS based on Bitcoin of $32 a share, which is insanity. So if Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy is going to go down. Essentially, they're hedging their company with Bitcoin, so it tracks with Bitcoin pretty strongly. And one might even think that it tracks Bitcoin just as much, if not maybe even more than Grayscale Bitcoin does, which is GBTC. However, I'm not 100% sure if it tracks stronger than that. At times, it does seem like it does. However, this is the reason why it's not number 1, but doesn't mean it's not a strong buy, especially at 370 or 375. If Bitcoin breaks 150,000, and it's likely to do so in the next year or so, MicroStrategy will find its way to almost doubling, at least a 50% return, which puts it somewhere in the high 6s, low 7s. And that doesn't even account for the company itself and the growth they will have while leveraging Bitcoin. So essentially, there is a very real possibility of a 50% to 100% return on Bitcoin and essentially MicroStrategy over the next year or two. So this is a very strong company to invest into as long as Bitcoin keeps going the way it's going. And Trump and many others are hedging and buying up a lot of Bitcoin. This is not the only company doing it. GameStop is also doing it as well. And the more that are doing it, the stronger it becomes. So now it's time to talk about the number 1 stock that you should be looking to add to your portfolio. Before we get to that, if you guys are having trouble understanding how I evaluate companies, pick stocks and their growth, and you want to be in Discord and get the alerts to make the profits that you're seeing on the screen right now, I would love to help you. It's what drives me every single day, helping others achieve their goals. I'm able to live the life I've always wanted to live because of the financial freedom of trading options, stocks, and investing. And I told myself when I achieved these goals that I would do my best to help others just like you. Don't hesitate, take action now. Let me show you what you're doing wrong and help you grow your portfolio, just like the students you see on the screen right now. The link to get started is below. And don't take my word for it. Let's take a listen to my students, Josh and Adam, had to say. What stood out to you the most when you originally signed up for the Discord and the coaching really gave you the incentive to want to join? And do you still feel the same way now? And what would your message be to others that are, in the same situation?
You were more focused on like the actual strategy of things as opposed to, pushing a particular stock or trying to like almost trick people into like how they can get rich. I'm also a masterclass student as well. And that's where I really took things to the next level. For anyone who's thinking about joining, is anyone can do this. It's just really like putting in the work and the effort to meet Corey halfway, but he will definitely get you there. I started with about $300,000 portfolio. Initially saw about between 60 and 70,000 within my first 6 weeks, which I was very excited about. So now I'm really, really excited to share that I've grown that $300,000 portfolio to well over 500,000. I'm definitely reaping the rewards now. Don't wait. I honestly can't thank Corey enough.
What would you tell someone who's skeptical about me and learning options, or just from learning from someone online who is on the fence and needs motivation to get started? Like they're watching the YouTube videos, but they don't know, can I trust this guy? Can I trust the options? Or even if they trust me, can they trust what I'm teaching? Will they be able to learn? What would you tell them to motivate that?
In just a short amount of time, the program that you offer, I've learned so much, and I've changed my entire approach to investing. I'm much more structured, much more safe, and I've seen consistent, profitable growth. I've seen the growth, and it's almost like unbelievable. Like in a market that we're in now, I was still able to consistently grow because you're so, methodical and structured, and you care about each student. I'm here to say it how it is, right? I've made consistent growth. So I started with 15,000, right? I am now at $40,000. Okay. And I'm so proud. It feels, amazing to be able to share this, because I know that there's so many people that will do the same. right? You have to just trust Corey and trust what he's teaching and what he's offering, because he means so well.
So you heard my students Josh and Adam had to say. If you guys want this to be your success story, I look forward to helping you achieve your goals. The link to join Discord is below. I'll see you very soon in the Discord. The number one stock that you need to look at to potentially add to your portfolio is none other than Palantir. Look, I've said it many times that Palantir is a little bit on the overvalued side and stretch side of things, and then they just absolutely annihilated earnings yet again, and they see more future growth, and they see even more rapid expansion than they've already seen. This is insanity. This company is growing so fast, and they're producing the goods. And big, huge $500 million government contracts, new contracts all the time, AIP boot camps that can deploy decisions that companies normally rely on months or even weeks. These can deploy and make these decisions in as little as days or even hours, and in some circumstances, minutes. Palantir's AIP boot camp is significantly stronger than anything that its competitors have. And not only that, they're outpacing everybody in their sector, and that is critical for growth, and they're delivering very strong CEO and very strong guidance and growth and contracts, and not only in the government sector, but in the commercial sector as well. They almost have a complete 50-50 split of commercial and government. So if we have geopolitical issues and the stock market goes down, did you notice in the crash in March due to tariffs, Palantir really didn't go down anywhere near as much as the other stocks. When there's any bad news with Taiwan and China, Ukraine and Russia, and when there's any potential bad news there, or even potentially in Israel or Iran, the stock goes up because it has a lot of government contracts and defense contracts. Just like when the geopolitical issues die down and everything's good and everything's happy in the market, they're still flying like they are right now and during earnings, before and after, because they have a lot of commercial contracts as well. So as much as I thought it's overvalued, I still believe it's still too expensive for the current price. All this guidance and growth has investors excited, and based off of facts, taking my opinion out of the play here and just looking at facts, it is very probable, not just likely, but probable, that Palantir will achieve a $200 price target before the end of the year. It's very probable. Not 100%. There's inherent risks you have to know of, but the chances are very high that 190 to 200 by January is coming, and in the next 2 to 3 years, Palantir could be $300 or $400. My price target for this year was 180. If you guys remember the videos I made back in January and before that, my price target for end of summer 2025 was 160 to 180. We've achieved that. My price target for the end of the year going into spring of 2026 was between 200 and 240, somewhere in the mid-year 2026, and we are already on track for that. The growth just keeps accelerating at Palantir. Be cautious though, because there's likely to be some pullbacks along the way, and you don't want to be more than 10% of your portfolio in any one stock. Looking at Palantir, if you watched my video a few days ago on the stocks flipping for Monday, this was uploaded last Saturday, a couple of days ago, I drew this box and said it would be in this box and likely go to the top and there'd be a pullback, and look where it went and pulled back. I was almost dead on. In fact, if you really look at it right here, right at the top, right there to where it is right now, it's right at the top, literally where I said it would 3 days before earnings. So at this point, it's pretty safe to say I know the stock very well, I know the market very well, and we might have a pullback down to 165, 163. It's possible, but at this point, it's really hard to say for sure with Palantir because it just keeps erupting. Earnings was a complete mesmerizing thing. It was just insane. They crushed earnings, 15% on the EPS and 7% on revenue. It was an insane event yet again with Palantir, like it always is. Beating EPS by 15%, beating revenue by 7%. This company never stops growing, it seems, and they've beaten pretty much every earnings, 4 in a row right here. The last time they missed earnings was 2023 or 2022. It's been a while. I'm going all the way back to 24. There's no earnings missed all the way back. Yeah, it was 2023 was the last one. So out of the last 9 or 10 earnings, they've only missed one. Very strong company. Can't go wrong by adding to your position in Palantir. Just be safe and don't add more than 10% of your portfolio to any one sector. But this is the top 5 stocks to look at for August. If you guys want to see the top 5 growth stocks to add to your portfolio now, or you want to see a tutorial on Fidelity, Active Trader Pro Beta, or Webull, or Robinhood, put those comments below. I look forward to making them for you. I look forward to seeing you in the Discord real soon. If you want to make the profits you're seeing on the screen right now, and you want all my trades in Discord, Discord, like all the ones I've shown you and talked about during this video, and you want more of these type of stocks, I'm constantly posting in the Discord. I look forward to helping you grow your portfolio. The link to join Discord is below. I'll see you guys on the next video or upload. Take care of yourselves. One love, fam.